talk about something that sometimes is near and dear to Idolite's heart. He loves his lucha libre. He loves his masked wrestlers. I love masked wrestlers too, but I didn't grow up on lucha libre. So
Mm-hmm.
today we're going to talk about masked wrestlers. We're going to go through a little timeline of some masked wrestlers, but probably not the ones you're thinking about. You're not going to see Mr. Iguana. You're not going to see Ray. You're not going to see Phoenix or Penta or any of those other ones. You're going to see some guys from when I grew up and before I grew up, and some that I just found that I was like, what the world is this? But let's have some fun. I mean, before we jump too far into it, Idolite, I got to come to you first. You're our resident, um, Lucha Libre expert. Favorite masked wrestler of all time. Who is it?
Man, if we're talking historically, who has played? And now I'm going to put on my historian hat. Usually you're the historian, right? If I have to go by cultural significance of what they meant to the sport and really to a country, you're going to go Santo. You can't.
Definitely.
I mean, you're going to talk Mysterio, and that's recent, and because obviously he's the man, and everybody else. But without Santo, you don't have anything, right? And having grown up, around it and being in Mexico, and you can go down a flea market, you can go down to San Diego, and you go to Tijuana, and you're gonna still see a Santo mask there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is decades, and because we talk about these crossover stars, and Becky Lynch is in and MJF or in an Adam Sandler movie, and this dude was starring in his own like monster flicks, you know, Santo versus blank, and then dialed everybody else in, brought in a bunch of other people. So for an all timer, it has to be Santo. For me, more modern, obviously, I'm still a Mysterio guy. So
Good
that'll
call.
be it.
All right. Adrian, same question. Your
Mm-hmm.
favorite mask guy. That's not Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, of course. It's got to be Tiger Mask, man. Tiger
Okay.
Mask is like a living superhero, and if you're gonna say which iteration, it's got to be Tiger Mask too. That's my favorite, personal favorite wrestler. Always entertaining matches. Hell, he had an anime on multiple. I mean, different eras of an anime, an old school anime that I remember. I remember the intro and all that. And he had a newer school one where guys like Kenny Omega and Cody were in it, which was super cool. Like being into New Japan Pro Wrestling and that. So I love Tiger Mask. Hell, I have a couple old school Tiger Mask manga. That's what you call it, right? I have a couple of those from Japan. So yeah, Tiger Mask, man. I love Tiger Mask. My second choice, El Generico. Always loved El Generico. I love the gimmick and the concept of this clearly this is, let's just say it is clearly this is a white guy like
Kayfabe,
using
kayfabe.
using the crappiest of Spanglish and just I just loved his character. I always love people's reactions to seeing him when I would show because they're like, man, this is a really good wrestler. But then once they see the promos and all of that stuff, they're like, man, what the hell are you watching? Like it was always that reaction. So El Generico has to be like he's got to be top 5 for me for the masked wrestlers.
For sure. That's cool. That's cool. I like how you threw him in there because nowadays all we really think about is lucha libre
Mm-hmm.
or these
Yeah.
guys who are coming from that era or that version, if you will, of pro wrestling. But I never grew up on that. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what that was. I knew who Mil Mascaras was,
Mm-hmm.
but even though being blessed to grow up here in the A town and having 6 to 8 hours of wrestling every Saturday night, legit, we still didn't get lucha libre. We
Very
had
rarely.
all kinds of other stuff, right? But so we're gonna dive into the first one. Um, this one's interesting to me because when I think master wrestlers, this is what I go back to.
If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, look us up on socials at Suplex Dinner Club. And be sure to check out our other projects. We talk college football on Dogs versus All Y'all. That's a weekly college football podcast where we don't just talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, we talk about all things college football. The Life and Times Pod, which is short for the Life and Times of a Restaurant Lifer podcast, where I have some chill conversations with some cool and interesting people that I've met in my years in the hospitality industry. And of course, check out Talk 'em in the Building. That's a pro wrestling podcast where we solely focus on the promo. We talk about the talkers, we hype the hype man, and we pontificate on the promo. It's a fun project, and if you're a pro wrestling fan, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. If you're into TV and movie reviews, check out Four Corners Cinema with Ari and Adrian, a podcast where two lifelong pro wrestling fans review film and other forms of media that just so happen to have some of our favorite pro wrestlers. The Suplex Dinner Club family is growing, and I would love for you to be a part of it.